So we got into Spirit 2 video here, obviously, our favorite Aussie, our favorite Australian, talking about, the increase in anime haters. Let's get straight into it.
Yeah, back. So I've been kind of missing for the last sort of week-ish, just because I'd been doing a lot of training and stuff for just different things going on, and now my foot's sore, my shoulders are sore, my legs are sore, so I'm recovering.
Aussie can fight. That's for sure.
I'm recovering.
Aussie
so
can fight.
It's definitely been a long couple
you
of weeks.
You don't want to mess with this, Australian.
I talk about a week ago, and that is to do with an interesting, I wouldn't say it's a new thing.
It's definitely not a new thing. It's definitely not a new thing. Hating on anime has been a thing for a while now. The only reason that it seems like hating on anime has grown is because anime has become the popular thing to like. So now you have a bunch of people that hate anime that have to LARP as loving anime when they actually hate it, purely because it's, you know, the popular thing right now. It's the fad.
But it's a thing.
All the cool kids are watching Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia and fucking Dan.
That's been around for a while that I've noticed that has kind of grown quite heavily in the last, I'd say, year or so, and it's just continuously trending. And I notice, especially amongst content creators that are constantly trying to come up with things to attack content creators on. And I'll be going over a couple of things.
Yeah.
That is one of those, of course, is going to be the magical word, lollies.
Oh! Ah! That's my kryptonite! Ah! I'm melting!
These lolicons and all that kind of stuff. And I think one of the funny things about those words is that a lot of people that use that as a leverage to attack people by don't even understand what those words mean.
Tale as old as time right there. None of them actually know what the fuck the word lolly and lolicon means. I'll see them like use those words interchangeably, even though they mean different things. Like they don't define it correctly. Like they don't know what the fuck these words mean.
That really highlights the level of tourists out there that are constantly using that as a leverage.
100%.
Like, oh well, you're
like, I just saw a tweet talking about how Sumiko Saba, right? Saba, you know, like I believe it was 50k people just poof, just spontaneously left the stream, and it's because they got filtered. They got filtered by the tummy. They got filtered by some cute tummy chat.
a lolicon, and it's like...
Hate to see it.
So, it's one
absolutely
of the
tragic,
jokes,
man.
In my community, that a lot of people refer to me
I love me some...
jokingly as a lolicon.
I love me some tummy.
I'm not a lolicon myself, but the word itself is more of like, you know, an enthusiast...
Yeah, I watch Spirit 2. He's not a lolicon.
...of lolly-based content. Now...
I personally am not really a lolicon either. Like, I like lolly characters here and there, but I'm not like... I wouldn't describe myself as a super big lolicon, right? Like, I like to play into the lolicon stuff, you know, when we're, you know, with Tank Show, just, you know, for the memes, right? To be, you know, edgy lolicon, you know, make fun of the people that call lolicons PDFs, right? I like to lean into it, right? So, but I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm a super big lolicon. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Lolly,
but that's a whole separate, another deep video. But a lot of people are...
What'd you say?
You know, an
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
...of lolly-based content. Now, we could go over the definition of lolly. That's a whole separate, another deep video. But a lot...
I would watch that video. I would watch that video. I would.
A lot of people argue on what classifies as a lolly and what doesn't, which is why I've always found the debate about the word lolly always annoying, because... Some people will say, okay, Hestia
that's true.
She is not a lolly. But in the light novels and in the anime, she is classified as a big boob lolly. So when you look at things like that...
I personally think Hestia is definitely a lolly. Like, I don't... Like, yeah, she's a lolly. She's a lolly. 100%.
No, she's not a lolly. And then you'll see from the source material, and this is, again, the Japanese writer that puts this in the story. This is not a retcon. He writes it as a big boob lolly. Some people will classify Frieren as a lolly because of her design, and it comes more down to the body type, not about the age. And so we see this,
and she's also a lolly. All right, she's a lolly baba.
Constant debate going on what that definition of the word is. But whenever people want to use a attack point, and we could use certain content creators like Chibi Reviews who gets attacked, whether you like it
always,
I don't care what your stance is, but let's stick to facts, right? Let's stick to facts. A lot of videos that I see going after content creators like that always use the whole, oh, well, he's into lollies. And it's like... And then they'll pull up all this other random miscellaneous things that have nothing to do with it.
And to be honest, I don't really think Chibi's I don't really think he's that much of a lolicon. Like, he just defends it. He defends it because, you know, he's pro freedom of speech, pro freedom of expression, pro freedom of, you know, art, right? He defends it. A very anti-censorship guy. Like, I don't really think he's that much of a lolicon. He just defends it. Like, doesn't he... Like, doesn't he say that he's into taller women? Like, I don't really think he's a lolicon.
Point, and they go, well, this is what the word means, and these are the specific...
I'm pretty sure he likes taller, dommy women.
Characters, like, yes, but the word lolly also has a broad meaning behind it, and it's like, oh, well, that doesn't count because... And that's where they try to retcon the definition of the word. So that's one of the things that I see quite heavily used. And I know, just saying straight away that, you know, Hestia and Frieren are classified as lollies is instantly going to start a war in the comment section.
Definitely.
Because some people believe they're not, and some people believe they are. Another great example would be Shoutier from Overlord, right?
I haven't seen Overlord. Should I watch Overlord? I always hear a lot of really good stuff from Overlord. The only exposure I've had to Overlord is from oh fuck, what's the name of the anime? Isekai Quartet. There you go. I couldn't think of it. Isekai Quartet. That is my exposure to Overlord. Isekai Quartet.
Mina Tepish from Dance in the Vampire Bund.
I have not seen Dance in the Vampire Bund either.
And Akuski from Log Horizon, right? There are many different characters that are classified as lolly, and some people will argue that they are or aren't.
Yep.
And this is why I also do find a lot of content creators, not just on the left, but also some on the right, that especially when you look at the Christian groups that are constantly going...
Yes, both sides definitely attack it, 100%.
Lolicon is evil, and this is why I was always disappointed in Rev, because Rev had a very clear stance in understanding what the word lolly and lolicon meant. But now he's kind of changed his tone over the years, and I think it's due to his religious beliefs, which was always confusing. I use him as a key example.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I would agree with him on that, right? It is disappointing, right? Rev definitely, he is not gonna defend or go up to bat for lolly and, you know, that sort of art these days as much as he used to, right? Like, he used to defend it, he used to have a very clear stance on it, but that sort of changed because of his religious beliefs, right? But I personally don't mind, right? I personally, you know, I understand, you know, I don't mind, I don't particularly care. I think he still understands that, you know, hey, fiction is fiction, freedom of expression. I think he still believes those things, but you know, he's not gonna attack anybody, and he's not gonna call anybody like a PDF over it. But, you know, he just does not support it, or he doesn't want to be defending it or talking about it as much as he used to. And, you know, it's, you know, fair enough, you know, whatever, right? I respect it if that's if you know, that's what you want to do, right? Your religious beliefs, I don't care, right? It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fucking fine. You know, as long as Rev, you know, doesn't become one of these retards that are, you know, calling people PDFs for being lolicons, I don't care, right? It's definitely disappointing, right? Don't get me wrong, it's definitely disappointing, but it's not the worst thing ever. And, you know, again, like, I understand, you know, I that's one of the things that I've always more or less believed in, right? I think it is very hard to hold a lot of free speech views and be Christian. because they're incompatible ideologies, right? You can't be pro free speech and Christian because you have a conflict, right? If you're Christian, you're like 9 times out of 10, or really it should be 10 times out of 10, right? Because they're anti-pornography, right? And they a lot of them say that, you know, they want to see pornography banned and stuff like that. They say that sort of thing all the time, right? Every so often a new post goes viral from some, you know, right-wing Christian talking about how they need to ban porn. Like recently I saw like a tweet talking about how like if we just ban porn, all of our problems would be fixed. And it's like, no, it's not how that works. That's not how that's going to play out. And if you think that's how that's going to play out, you're delusional, right? We see those tweets all the time, right? Those two are just incompatible, right? If you're Christian, then you're anti-porn. You can't be free speech and be anti-porn, right? You have to defend. If you're free speech, in my opinion, you have to defend speech that you don't particularly like. It's like it's like with the whole Charlie Kirk stuff, right? As long as you're not making threats, like some retards were like saying, "Oh, we got to, kill the president next, right? We got to go after Erica and her kids as well, right?" That is not free speech. You're making death threats, right? But if it's just, you know, people saying, "Oh, we got him in the neck," you know, all that stupid shit, mocking Charlie's death. That is still free speech, and even though I don't like that free speech, I will protect that free speech. You should not be jailed for saying that sort of stuff. You know, it's disgusting and hateful, and you're a piece of shit human being, but it's free speech, right? Death threats is not free speech, though, right? If you're free speech, you have to defend speech that you do not like. You have to defend art that you do not like, right?
Cool.
And that's why I think having Christian ethics and being free speech is just not. It's not a very. Those two are just incompatible because you're gonna have conflict there, right? Your Christian ethics are eventually going to clash with your free speech position.
The content creators you could use that have been pro, you know, lolly-based content, especially certain gotcha content creators that would cover content and talk about certain characters that they really like.
Are we talking about Techie Wecky there?
That were lolly characters, are lolly characters.
I like Tectone, but yeah, I think you know, I think he definitely does have some L takes on this stuff as well.
And then suddenly go, oh yeah, I never liked them. It's just like this sort of revisionary of history in itself.
Yep.
And then and I think the reason why they do this is because they know that there's this new wave of commentary slop drama channels that are trying to make really low tier hit piece videos, trying to go after content creators, going, well, they like lollies, that means they're predators. Yep. And then you find out that I don't know what position Tectone has, right? But I don't know if he calls people PDFs for being lolicons, but well, I do respect him. I do respect him for what he did for Chibi when he got cheated on by his fiance. I do greatly respect Tectone for that, and I like Tectone, right? I like him. I like a lot of his takes on stuff, right? I like his takes on a lot of stuff. But yeah, I mean, definitely, I definitely disagree with him on quite a bit of stuff, especially when it comes to this topic, right? It's just the same as Asmongold, right? There's nobody that I 100% agree with 100% of the time, right? Like, it's just impossible. You're never gonna agree with someone 100% of the time on 100% of things, but you know, I still like them, right? It doesn't matter if we disagree on things here and there. Right? I still like them. Channels that are trying to make really low tier hit piece videos, trying to go after content creators, going, well, they like lollies, that means they're predators. And then you find out that the people that are attacking you are actually predators themselves.
Yeah, I saw a tweet from Chib. Like, I saw like he put out a tweet that like an actual convicted PDF is going after Chibi for defending law. I was like, yeah, man. Yeah, okay, convicted PDF. I'm sure Chibi is the bigger criminal here for defending drawings than you, who actually did something to real children.
For them. It's
high IQ take there, bro.
List of ironies in themselves. But that's one great example of that, right? then you look at the whole situation where you see a lot of people attacking anime if it's too much fan service. Oh my god, the boobies, they scare me.
I love the voice. It happens to me all the time. I hate that when that happens, man. You know, I hate it when the boobies make my pee-pee feel funny. I don't like it. I don't like it.
That kind of stuff. And I think that's in the irony itself. Like, you look at Fire Force and all that kind of stuff. That's one of those things that constantly gets brought up.
Yep,
and
Fire Force.
It's another one of those things of they go, oh...
Weren't they trying to censor Fire Force or something like that? I remember that was like a drama a while back.
Well, I don't
with
want...
season 3, question mark?
Fan service in my anime at all. And it's like, okay, well, there's animes like this that...
Now, there's plenty of anime that don't have fan service, alright? Just go watch something that doesn't have fan service. It's not that hard, bro, I promise.
Don't have fan service, and they'll go, what?
You know how many anime there is? There's a lot of fucking shows out there that you can watch without fan service.
That does have fan service because I saw a cleavage
Pinky promise, bro.
0.0001 of a second, and that's too much, and I can't enjoy this story anymore because...
At that point, you're just gooner-brained, bro. Like, at that point, you're just gooner-brained. I don't know what to tell you.
Because of that, and it's just like, okay, you are legit...
Maybe you're the problem, not the anime. Have you thought about that? Is that a possibility that we're gonna consider, or no?
A drama queen. And I constantly bring up these different talking points of, you know, again, you look at like the whole lolly argument, you look at the fan service stuff, you look at the problematic elements. Those are another thing, and especially with Mushoku Tensei coming up in the next like week or so, we're going to be seeing that drama as well.
Oh, is there the new season releasing? I don't know. I haven't really been keeping up with Mushoku Tensei that much. The last thing I saw was with Rudy curing his erectile dysfunction. That was the last season that I saw.
Oh, and it was kind of funny because only about a couple of weeks ago I talked about Mushoku Tensei, and I had someone clashing out my comment section going, I'm unsubscribing because you talked positively about Mushoku Tensei, and I'm like,
okay, buddy.
Are you new to the channel, bro? Like, I've thought about Mushoku Tensei positively for a very long time because that's another issue as well. Or we can't have lolly-based characters, which again, the word is very broad in its terminology. We can't have fan service, or we can't have complex, deep characters with flaws in them. It's like, oh no, every character has to be picture perfect. And you look at those three alone, and that would instantly lower the list of the amount of things that you can make in an anime itself. And then there's people that complain about tropes and stuff, and it's just like, when you go down this laundry list of all these elements that...
A lot of bitching, man. Like I just don't, like this is all stuff that, like, is key to anime and storytelling in general, really. Like, what's the problem with tropes?
These people don't like, you start to realize...
Like, I don't understand.
These people just don't like anime, they're just here for the trend, and I've talked about that.
It's like if you complained about the, like, classic rom-com, like high school rom-com trope of, you know, the confession scene gets interrupted by fireworks or a phone call or something like that, right? Like, it's like, this is just a common trope in anime. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand it, man. I don't understand it.
These
I don't get it.
People that constantly just jump on anime.
I fucking love the childhood best friends to lovers trope. I don't care. I don't care what nobody says.
Because it's the current new thing to talk about. And I do think there is this new way. No, it's not so much new, again, it is more of a growth that hating anime has become popular. And I feel like it's become much more popular, where it's built its own sort of ecosystem, where we have a lot of content creators that are just,
definitely.
Their entire purpose is to just say everything has to change. And I've talked about some of those channels. There's like the feminist one that constantly talks about the male gaze, but she never talks really about any shows that she likes. She just talks about stuff that she doesn't like, which is just everything made for men. And she's like, oh, I'm going to force myself to watch male shows and then complain about them being male shows.
Like what do you say to that? Like, just stop watching it. If you hate it that much, don't watch it. You don't have to watch. Nobody's holding a fucking AK to your head and saying, hey, watch this show that you hate, bitch.
Like, I remember going over that in a stream, and I was just like slowly losing my brain sense because she just kept repeating it.
I haven't seen it, and I'm losing my fucking brain cells, man.
Going, oh no, this
You're
story
killing
about
me
a main
here,
protagonist
Australian
is about a
man.
main protagonist, and the female characters are side characters, but this guy is the main character. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, no shit.
it's made for men. It's literally in the tags. Apparently that's a crime, right? So you look at all these different issues, and I do think that there are some content creators that have definitely built their own audience up in the years just from sort of beating people down for enjoying stuff that they don't like. Again, I may not like a show, but I'm not going to sit there, it shouldn't exist. I might meme about it, joke about it.
Yeah, same here.
You know how I love
100%.
Girlfriend and how it gets an infinite amount of seasons.
I know, dude. Like, I just saw, didn't they just announce a new Rent-A-Girlfriend season? How? I don't, how does the cuck anime keep getting seasons? I am fucking perplexed. I don't understand.
And our own favorite shows will never will. But I think everyone has their own
Fucking
taste in what
befuddled.
they like, and I think that's fine. Anime
Like, this shit is just getting ridiculous at this point. Like, at this point, you're just fucking with me.
is one of those where you have so much variety. And I think that's the great thing about anime. We are very spoilt in the anime community. We get so much from isekais to romance.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit. Like, there is something you will like, right? There is something that will suit your palate. In every fucking season, you're gonna get a handful of shows that suit your palate, guaranteed. Because there's just so much anime coming out.
Car racing, mechas, food animes, like all these different types of shows we can have in all different, different shapes and sizes. Now, sure, there might be a perfect different type of formula that some people might, and sure, there might be some more in some areas than other areas. Like the constant arguments that there's too many isekais and all the rest, and all those kind of arguments. And I feel like people...
Yeah, I mean, they're not wrong, to be fair, but personally, I really like the isekai slop. That is my anime hot take. That is my anime cardinal sin there. I personally really like isekai slop.
People just memed on that and over-exaggerate that for the sake of clicks. And I get, I enjoy a good clickbait, I enjoy a good meme, but I do feel like that's one of those where people legitimately try and push the narrative that there are too many isekais. It's like, do you watch other shows? And it's like, no, they don't. It's like, okay, so you're kind of jumping on that trend again. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that, again, it all comes to stem to, is that I think a lot of content creators...
And also, a lot of the time, they'll classify fantasy anime as isekai when that's just not the case, right? Like, fantasy and isekai are two different things, right?
A lot of people that are constantly attacking anime, they're not doing it because they like anime, they're doing it because it's the current cool thing to do. And personally, I'd rather that, and I know that sounds stupid, but I'd rather that than them try and pretend to be anime fans and...
to be fair, I actually agree with that. I actually 100% agree with that. I prefer that, yeah.
Sort of put on a mask on and then try and force their way in. I'd rather than...
Because at least that way you know who, like, to stay away from, who to ignore, right? Like, I prefer that 100%.
Just be mask off and go, yeah, I hate anime, it all has to change. And, like, then we can just call them out and laugh at them. Because when you look at other content creators, like...
I agree with that.
...have been hiding their political agendas, and then suddenly as the years have gone on, they've pushed their political agenda more and more and more, the mask thing kind of comes off. And those are the ones...
Look no further than Deem, right? Like, I prefer when they go mask off, because that way you know, like, hey, I don't really want to support this dumb bitch anymore.
That worry me the most, because
I don't really want anything to do with this dumb bitch.
They build a strong audience, they get that parasocial fan base, and then they quickly take the mask off, and then they weaponize it and try and destroy anyone that doesn't have their political leaning. And again, my stance has always been very clear. I just don't like modern day politics in anime discussions, specifically when they're not needed, right? Like
100%. I think the fact that politics has to infect every fucking thing, just politics has to be in everything is political, right? It's just so obnoxious. It's so fucking obnoxious. People are just so fucking politics brain rotted, man.
I only have to look at a certain manga series that became a hot topic because of this whole political warfare that went on, and it didn't need to exist at all. So I think it's one of those where it's like, I think it's important that we call it out. But I also, and the final point to this, is I do think some content creators are too scared to call it out.
I would agree with that.
Because they know their own audience is politically captured, but they are also politically captured.
Yeah, and if they speak out against it, they'll get crucified by their own audience.
And I think they make snarky jabs at people like me, right? They go, oh, they've gone political. It's like, yeah, because I've gotten tired of the censorship. I've gotten tired of the defending of bad localizations and translations. Crunchyroll constantly doing shady, stupid stuff and people glazing for them. Because,
dude, on it, like I found, again, I've said this before when we've watched an Espiritu video. I've been watching him for a very, very long while now, right? Like I found Espiritu back when he wasn't really talking about this sort of stuff, right? He didn't really touch drama. He didn't really touch on, politics or anything like that. He mostly just focused on, talking about, like, anime announcements and news and making, like, predictions on when we'll get, like, a new season of a certain show. And, he would just talk about those sorts of topics, right? And, he started to make that transition, talking about being a little bit more open about his, views and thoughts on things. And, yeah, I mean, I'm honestly pretty solid RNG for me, chat. I just kind of gravitated and naturally found a lot of these based people. Like, I found, Spiritu, Chibi, Rev, Kirsha, right? I just sort of naturally kind of was introduced to these based Giga Chads.
The same socialists that hate billion and trillion dollar companies and all big rich people are the same.
It do be like that
for Sony and Crunchyroll. And the
same it do be like that.
Sit and go, oh, drama topics are bad, and it's like,
my Lord and Savior, Sony.
Yeah, calling out bad actors is drama in itself, but sometimes it needs to exist to call out those bad actors, because if people don't call them out, look what happens. It festers and it grows. And I think some of those people are now starting to sweat because they realize that people are going to start seeing behind their mask and start realizing just how fake they are. And that's why they're in damage control.
Yeah, I mean, 100% agree with that. 100%. I think, the anime, I sort of stepped away from the black tar heroin that is anime drama and stuff like that, because a lot of the anime drama just kind of gets ridiculous. Like, I mostly just try to stick to, I don't know, people saying stupid shit, the lolly stuff and censorship stuff. That's usually more or less where I try to stay as far as this stuff goes, because a lot of the drama just kind of gets really exhausting and fucking retarded when it comes to anime. The anime community. But yeah, I mean, I think, I hope we can get rid of these grifters, these activists. So like I was saying in that Chibi video, man, I don't want an anime gate, right? I don't want a repeat of what happened in Gamergate. I don't want the anime scene to go to the same thing that the gaming industry went through. But we'll see. I'm hoping I'm wrong as far as the anime gate stuff goes. I'm hoping it doesn't happen. But I do think it will happen with, everybody, with what's happening in the gaming industry right now is starting to heal, right? Slowly, but starting to heal, in my opinion. A lot of these people are running to the anime industry now, and they're just going to do the same shit that they were doing in the gaming industry, but now in the anime industry. I think that's what's going to happen.